eModels.co.uk. Make something awesome.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello folks, Festa here from eModels, and today we're going to be having a look at the GodHand Short Grip Brush range. These are available from eModels.co.uk in various sizes, tip sizes and all of that. All the details of the brushes used in this video are in the description below, folks, okay? So I've been using these now on the live shows for a little while, but I just thought that I would do a little quick demo with some of the footage just to show you what they're all about. So we got some new ones added to the range as well, like the felt tip brush, the filbert brush and things like that, as you can see. Really beautifully made. But what I like about these is the short handle, because you can really get in close to your work. And if you're wearing optivisors and things, you're not poking your eyes with the brush handle. This is the felt tip brush, which can really saturate colour very quickly on a piece like cloaks and things like that if you're using shades and stuff. So that's really got a good use. And then you've got this little angled filbert brush as well, folks, which is going to come in handy if you're doing edges and things like that. So we'll put these to use and go over some of the footage that I've been using the other brushes on so that you can see what you can do with them, folks. So sit back, grab a cup of tea and enjoy. Remember also, put your covers on the brushes when you're finished with them. It just helps protect the bristles, folks, okay? So we'll just put them to one side and we'll grab our model and show you what we've been up to. There you go. Right, here we got the Ary Quinn Star Weaver, and as you can see, I'm using a nice pointed brush there, and I'm just going back over some of these diamonds now, just to make the edges a lot crisper and to get the tips of the diamonds to touch. So just nice gentle strokes. The brush tips do hold a nice little bit of paint, so you can just spread it over, but also you can really get some nice crisp edges. And I'm just trying to blend some of these colours in front to back using these brushes. And as you can see, with a short form grip, they really do sit in the hand really well. Just gently caressing the paint from the back of the diamond there, going forward. And it just lets me pull some of that colour across there. I'm not fully saturating it. I'm doing about 2/3 of the diamond, just bringing in the richer colour there, and then just letting it flow into the others. And then I can put the points of my diamonds together so that they touch. And then just use the brush just to gently brush the paint and spread it across. And they really are this easy to use, folks. And I'm going straight from the pot, cringe, just to get these crisp colour depths in the back there. And then I'll be switching to a wet palette just to do some of the finer blending, folks. So just my preferred technique that I use. It works for me. And then just gently working the paint across the diamond there. Don't put too much paint on your brush, just enough. You don't need to slather it on. And then just gently work your way along the edges there. And you can use these brushes almost like a pencil, folks. They really are that accurate. And then just straight down the middle there, almost like a letter T with the top part bent in the middle, like a trail shape. And then just move the colour around as I need it to. And this pot of red is actually thinned as well with a bit of Lamia medium for this, because it's a sacrificial pot for this job. So I can just use it almost like a wet palette in a pot. And then just work my way across this row. And then it'll be less and less of a fade going towards the front then. And I must admit, I was using these brushes on some of the live streams and really took to them straight away. So when the guys at eModels reached out and said, "We got some more, mate, do you want to film some?" I was like, oh yeah, bring it on. Because these are perfect if you're painting a lot of miniatures. And some of the smaller stuff I paint using a microscope. So you want short handles because you're looking at the screen through the microscope. So you could easily just knock your face with long handles. So I've moved to a different brush now, using a bit of a chisel tip, just to get a bit more paint into the diamonds there on this side there, just to speed it up for you. But again, what I like about these is you can still maintain control of the paint. And that's key for me. You know, I have a tremor, as people know, and I can really use these brushes quite close up and grip my hands a certain way so that I can ease the effects of it, so to speak. I pinch my pinky finger between the other fingers, and then with these short brushes, I can almost just quickly go in, apply the paint on an out breath, and then come back away from the work, and it works for me. So it's another reason why I really do like these. Bit more paint there across the top, and then we'll use some of the other brushes and do a few of the Ary Quinn troop figures that are a part of this set for you. But as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Let the brush do the work for you. Don't overdo it. Don't push down too hard on the brush. Just gently caress it across the surface. The paint will apply, and you want many, many thin coats, almost like a blend. And I'm picking and choosing different diamonds that have got a different effect, just so that later in the build I can use my shades just to create shadows and that, okay? We're now going on to the wet palette because we're going to put a really, really thin blend of orange across some of these now and just work just a highlight colour. And again, I'm using an even tinier brush now. This is one of the real long bristle tip brushes that's going on here now, and it just lets me put a very, very thin line across there. But also, if I do want to do a particular square or diamond, a full colour, I can just quickly whop it in there. And it really is a nice little kit to do this, especially with these brushes. You can really get in and do some fine detail work, and they are, no pun intended, they are a godsend for this sort of work, folks. There you go. And that, as you can see, is just applying that colour where I need it to be. And then we can start now working our way around the model, putting in a little bit more orange as we're going. And these were all done on the live shows, folks, myself and the Guru. So, yeah, it was one of those. They made a very difficult job very, very easy on a live stream, because it's highly detailed work that you're doing whilst engaging with an audience. But I must admit, these little brushes took the stress out of that for me personally, and for that alone, they're worthwhile. So again, we're just gathering up a little bit of paint now. We can then work our way around the edges of these diamonds. Just putting in a little bit of a highlight colour at the back there. And then just pull it forward. And then as we go further along towards the tip of the model, we'll put less in. So we've moved on now, and as you can see, the orange is now beginning to blend quite nicely. And now we can go in and just pick out any little details that we want to add any different effects to. Well, you know, you might want to lighten it, you might want to darken it. Bearing in mind, later in this build, I went on to put washes and things like that on it. So I wanted to go super bright with some of it, knowing that it was going to get toned down later on during the build. And I honestly don't think I would have been able to get this sort of detail without these, to be honest. It really did make my job a lot easier. So any miniature painters out there, give these a try. Honestly, I'm not just saying it. Give them a try, give them a go, because they really are worth it. I mean, you've only got to look at it sitting in my hand. It's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. And you can just work your way around your model very, very quickly. You're not catching the handle of the brush on anything because your hand is protecting it. And for me, I had full control over the brush during this painting process. And I think it was probably one of the most enjoyable ones I've done so far. So it says it all for me. Again, just start at the back of the diamond, draw your lines and just fade it in. It is really that easy, folks. Nice bit of saturation where you need it. And again, you can come back with this with different colours if you need to go back and darken a few areas. Just keep at it backwards and forwards, folks. Put a little bit more paint on the palette there for you. And then we can just come round now, pick out any that we want to emphasise, because light's going to be hitting across the top of this cockpit. And then obviously where the recesses are, they're going to go into shadow. And that's where the shade will sit anyway. So all in all, that's that side of it coming to an end on the Star Weaver there. For those that are interested in the kit, it's the Ary Quinn Star Weaver. Just pick out that one there for you. Just drop that in there, like so. And then you've got a little air vent around it that goes into the engine. So I just want to pick out a couple of them diamonds. Work my way up just towards the top there, just like so. Just give me brush a clean. Don't forget, normal brush cleaning protocol. Use some decent quality brush cleaner. Work it into the bristles like so. Always give your brushes a good clean at the end of every session. I tend to give it a rub on my knuckle there, just to let your own skin oils get into the brush. And then just work it around my knuckle like that, getting the brush cleaner in all the bristles, up into the ferrule, work my way across like so. And then just keep doing it until you're getting no residue of paint coming off the brush. And then obviously remember to put your brush caps on at the end, folks. Like so. Give the tip a little twist as you're putting it on. Job done. Now we're going on to the actual Ary Quinn troop figures. Now I'm using short form brush there to put the base colour down on all the swirls and ribbons, things like that. And then we'll be doing an arm and a leg on the uniform. Getting the base colours down for that, ready for, yes folks, painting tiny little diamonds on these 28mm figures. I'm going to go for it because I really do feel that these brushes will let me do what I want to do, which is actually paint the diamonds on this leg and arm of this tiny little Ary Quinn. At the time I suggested I was going to do it, Fox said, "You're going mad, mate. You're not going to be able to do it. It's too small." So, yeah, I blame him because he sent me these. And, yeah, it was like, have at it. So, as you can see, we have got purple diamonds going on, folks. And this is where these brushes really did come into their own, because I don't think I could have done this without them. I know I keep saying it, but I really do mean it, because they really enabled me to get in and basically draw with paint on this figure. And it was the first layer that went down of these is what you're seeing. So it's all base colours going down, but it's just letting me put the diamonds in quite happily. And then over a few shows, I went back and did additional layers and colours just to finesse it. But you'll see it here, the initial base layers going down on this. And it really did make it easy for me. Hardest part was remembering the pattern as I was going, so that I didn't have two purples next to each other and lost the transition. But it really did make it easy. I mean, these were done live on air on a Friday stream, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. So eModels and GodHands, I can't thank you enough, because yeah, without these, this wouldn't have been done. So miniature painters, as I've said before in this video, these are what you need. And again, you can just spin the model around, work your way down the leg, because they get tinier as you go to the ankle. And then as the material stretches up over the calf muscle and thigh, the diamonds do stretch out and get a bit bigger. So remember this when you're doing these, folks, that you want to follow the contours of how the clothing would actually stretch on the body. And yeah, I've got these figures on the side on the shelf here, and every time I look at them, even I'm surprised that I managed to get the job done. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, thoroughly stress-free paint job, and I'm looking forward to doing many more of these. I mean, I've been on and done free-handed badges, logos, all sorts of things with these brushes now, because they've given me the confidence of doing it. So whereas before I'd put a decal on a Warhammer figure, I now hand paint all the signage, liveries, symbols and that with these brushes, because I just find it quicker and easier now. Again, going around now, just picking out little knee pads. I've changed to a slightly thicker tip brush there, as you can see. And that's the beauty of these. You've got so many different tips on these. We're coming towards the last parts now, doing the final details on belts and things. Just getting all the base colours down on this little figure so that we can then come back, do any edge highlighting, detail on washes. So head over to eModels, grab yourself these brushes, folks. Links in the description. Thank you for watching.